All right, people, what the hell is going on? Time for a walk and talk. And I can't do walk and talks in landscape mode because I have to sit here and hold my phone out like this, which is not gonna fucking happen. So I know videos posted in portrait can be kind of whack, at least on YouTube. But that's the walk. All my other walking talks are pretty much like this. But anyway, what I'm talking about today, while I'm walking and talking, is no romance, and not a rejection of it. That's why that beer bottle is still down there. Is the fact that I've been in a no romantic state. I can't say voluntarily. For quite a while, goddamn now. So there's been no romance. I have not been involved in any activities of courtship or even likeship for the most part. And now I have, as of this morning, I have 5 motherfucking dating apps on my motherfucking phone. That is ridiculous. When I look at it, because I keep all my different apps in different folders and shit. Now, why the hell I got all these apps in here? I just downloaded 3 this morning. So I got, what do I got? I got Badu, which is the one I use the most. I got Plenty of Fish, which, all I do is swipe on there because it ain't really no messaging going back and forth on there. Those are the 2 I had on my phone. I downloaded Tinder, re-downloaded Tinder, updated my bio on that, which the bio that I use on my dating apps don't really, they're not built for success, just put it like that. And then Tinder I put back up and I swiped through that a little bit. Matter of fact, no I didn't swipe through Tinder. OkCupid, I hadn't logged into OkCupid because OkCupid it's a good dating app. Just as far as dating apps are concerned, if you just wanted to pick one for how it look and how it work and the features and all that shit and it's free, you pick fucking OkCupid. The fact of the matter is, as long as I've had that app, as long as I had a profile on OkCupid, nothing. I've never, ever met anybody off of OkCupid. And I've had that app just as long as I've had any. Hell, at least I met one person off of Tinder, even though that was a few years back. But I didn't get that off of it. It's just whatever. And then I downloaded another one that's kind of like Tinder as far as, as far as what you would hear, on social media and stuff like that, is Bumble. I downloaded Bumble, and I had to, since that was new, I had to fill all that shit out and do that. So, and I hear that shit all the goddamn time. I'll be watching YouTube videos where they be just talking about people in general, and the dating apps and stuff like that just kind of pop up and shit. And Bumble is one that always pops the fuck up. So I say, all right, let me try Bumble. So I just set that up. So and that's one of the ones where you swipe and shit just like everything else, but women message first. Women always make the first move on that, which is quite strange. It's the same way I operate on every other dating app that I'm on, for the most part, at least majority of the year, the 2 or 3 times a year where I don't just sit down and just spam everybody with just copy and paste messages. Women message first on that, so I'm not expecting anything off of that app. Really, I'm not. But I was like, fuck it, I might as well, because ain't shit going on. Especially, and then on that, they got another little section right there. COVID-19 dating. They got which kind of dates you get to select, like in your profile, with your height and weight and age and whether you want kids and all that shit right along in there mixed in with all that shit is COVID-19 dating. And they got, what kind of dates are you going comfortable going on, where you just want virtual date or you want social distancing with a mask or just social distancing. They got that shit on there. I was like, I haven't seen this on any of the other ones, but But I said, let me go ahead and fire it up, and then I just let that shit sit and see what happens. It's just like I say, I set my traps. I throw my hook out there and just wait for something to bite, just the same way I do on every other dating site I'm on. Because I'm not out here just actively meeting people. I've been in the house since, I don't know. When did the corona first hit? Because I know I've been in the house since then. You see, I got I still got my quarantine face. I got my quarantine head, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. So ain't nothing big going on romance-wise. And I'm trying not to get into the thing where, you start feeling some kind of way and you start reaching out or start trying to contact or trying to ease your way in with folks that you already familiar with, you know what I'm saying? And with familiar, I mean that you already, that came and went with, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's not true. Folks that had already showed you that y'all ain't about to move forward past whatever friendship y'all in right now. If y'all just online friends, y'all just gonna be online friends. You get hit with that buddy tag as a fucking man, you out of there. You get hit with that best friend shit as a man, it's time for you to be up out of there. All those little titles that women give you, is, and I got plenty of those. It's just, all right, let me get the fuck up out of here. Oh, that's my buddy. Hey, buddy. No, I ain't no buddy, nigga. I'm just like every other dude out here. I'm trying to get a little wet, my damn self. So, yeah. I'm just a little bit slow with it. You try to show a little bit of respect, restraint. You get hit with that motherfucking tag. It's just like, nah, time to move on. So, that's where I am right now. That's why I say no romance, because I haven't even been close to even being involved in anything like that in quite some time. And I don't expect for that to change no time soon either. Even with the dating apps, I just, I don't expect to just for something to just pop up, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody I know, almost everybody I know, except I could only think about 3 people right now, just in my social circle. Only 3 people that I didn't run across. That don't count people that I went to high school with, but 3 people in my social circle right now that I did not meet on some sort of social media or dating app. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 45 years old, and these are people on there that I've been known for 15 years or so. You know what I'm saying? More or less. So I know you can meet decent people out, but lately, man, it ain't been that way. It really hadn't. And then again, some of the people that I meet, like out and about, that I've just run across, that I've known for a while, ain't no guarantee that's gonna turn into nothing, because the people that you meet online is the same people that's out here in these streets. So it really ain't no difference, to tell you the truth. So that's my big dilemma right now. And I don't really like talking to people about shit like that, because they start giving you old cliched ass advice and shit like that. Maybe this give you a chance to work on yourself. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I get so sick of fucking hearing that old work on yourself shit. Nah, motherfucker, I'm with myself all goddamn day. I ain't the goddamn problem here. You know what I'm saying? The problem is the random ass, the random, really, dude. Where the goddamn cops at, man? These dudes ride these mopeds and shit all in the middle of the street. That is a fucking crime. Well, you a crime or a traffic violation. I'll say a traffic violation. You can't do that. You get cited for that shit. You riding a moped in the middle of the fucking street. So, what's that? Unregistered vehicle or some shit like that. You know, you can't do that. Anyway, people always say, you know, maybe you need to work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just no. Get the fuck out of here working on yourself. Only thing, and that's all people saying. It's funny when you hear the same thing. It's just folks don't know no better than to spit the same bullshit that somebody that told them. That people can't do nothing but regurgitate the same bullshit ass advice because they don't know no goddamn better. I need to just work on myself. You know, unless you got some goddamn mental defect going on over there where you literally have to work on yourself or go get some kind of therapy, okay. Normal people, no. You just need to run across the right motherfucker. That's it. You need to run across the right goddamn motherfucker. It's as simple as that. Diabetic strips. We buy diabetic strips. Well, I ain't got enough of them motherfuckers to sell you, bro. I need my diabetic strips. Yeah, I'm like, shit, man. I'm like, that little bit of advice don't do me no good at all because me fixing whatever little part of myself that I gotta fix got to do with me. It ain't got to do with nobody else that I'm trying to meet. Because at the end of the day, you doing that shit for yourself. You're not doing it for nobody else. So I hate when people tell me that. That irritates the hell out of me. And it's the random number generator. It is. That's all it is. It's a random number generator. You meet somebody and y'all might like each other from the start, and then you go through the whole process of whole get to know you thing and all this other stuff, and it's based on that. You know, you not feeling not no goddamn what's that? A resume like you apply. Well, actually, you know, it takes some time you do. You know, if you're on a dating app, you write that damn profile out. You basically doing, that's what you goddamn doing. But it's I don't know, man. I literally hadn't been in a dating game for much of nothing. That was something that I was trying to get started this year. Once, you know, the last little bit of hope that I had, you know, I just had to finally just leave that little situation alone. You know what I'm saying? And decide to just move on from that because that wasn't a situation that was going to graduate into anything else other than it was. And it definitely wasn't nothing I was satisfied in being involved with. So I had to leave that alone. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta get out and start meeting people. And I managed to meet one goddamn person. I managed to meet one person early this year, early before the corona came. And of course, it wasn't somebody that, you know, that I would have been like, all right, this is somebody that I like and I'm going, no, it was just one of those meetings where, okay, y'all meet and then y'all talk and all this other stuff. Y'all might text or talk every so often, but there's no interest past that. That's what that turned out to be. You know, I just, you know, because like I say, you look at people's pictures online and blah, blah, blah. She ain't, what the hell? You know, she wasn't no ugly chick or no shit like that. It just, you know, not my speed for the most part. Yeah, black people so loud. And I had one other person that I was supposed to have met up with. And the corona had hit And the corona came and fucked up a bunch of shit because I actually had a handful of dates set up. I had that one date from off the dating app. Yeah, I had the one date off the dating app that I actually met. I had another one that I was supposed to have met, and then I had a couple of. Yeah, I had a bunch of other. No, not a bunch, but I had I say at least two that I could think of. I had two other little hangouts that was planned within the next, week, 2 weeks or whatever. And Corona came and jacked that up. But the one that I had that was off the dating app was chick that was down here. I don't think she even lived down here in this area. She was down here. Her daughter lived not even close to me. Her daughter lived quite a ways from me, but at least I say out towards in the Katy area. I'm in the middle of Houston, there downtown, so she's still like 20 something miles away. But what happened was she met somebody and got abducted. And they ended up taking her somewhere out in Central Texas before she found some way to get out of that whole situation. I don't want to go into all that older shit because she ended up calling me while she was gone because she was just running through her phone trying to call people real fast while she was while she had access to her phone, and she was just calling folks trying to get some help, and she ended up calling me. And I called the police, but it wasn't shit I knew. I didn't know where the fuck she was, and she didn't know where she was because she's not from Texas. She was from fucking Florida. But, that shit happened to her. I talked to her on the phone maybe 2 or 3 days after that while she was in the hospital. She called me, and I asked her how she was doing, all that, blah, blah, blah. But she moved. She didn't stay here. She moved to Georgia. Well, or she went back to Georgia, wherever the fuck. She wasn't here anymore. So that didn't that whole thing apparently, didn't, there was no meeting now or whatever, but it's still somebody that I got in my phone that I chat with. But even in my head, I was like, see, why are you out here? The corona had just hit. We was on like quarantine at the goddamn time, and you out here meeting people, on the little appy apps. They got your ass snatched the fuck up. Just I'm just I don't know. I don't know. It's just because, at the point, you couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't go out to eat nowhere. You couldn't do none of that. It ain't like you couldn't go sit down at a restaurant. All the restaurants and shit was closed. Yeah, all the restaurants and shit was closed up. I gotta walk on this back street. So I don't know what that was. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. This is a 40-something-year-old woman. This is, people do dumb shit. And sometimes they end up having to pay for it. But I just talked to her. Was it earlier this week? I don't remember. I'm walking across the street. And her luck hadn't changed. Because she fucked around and got an infection in her foot some kind of goddamn way. Because she get those fucking, those little random ass hump day and have a good weekend text message that I send to everybody. And she replied to one talking about asking me if I had been keeping up on her media. I'm like, man, I took myself off of Facebook a couple of months ago. I don't keep up with that shit. If you've been posting stuff on there, I guarantee you I ain't seen it. But she ended up getting an infection in her foot and got the top part, got half of her foot cut off. I was like, God damn, girl, you got. I'm like 20. You know, you say 2020 how 2020 been a bullshit ass year, and I could claim that, but I'd be lying if I said 2020 was just a bullshit ass year for me, because I'm better off than a lot of people. But just this one girl in 2020, you know, was bringing her ass up here to see her daughter, got kidnapped or abducted, whichever way you want to put it, and moved back, you know, on the East Coast back to Georgia. Ended up getting a fucking foot infection and getting at least she said top part of her foot got she sent me pictures of that shit too. I'm like, ew. Yeah, motherfuckers won't send me no titties and shit, but you'll send me a picture of your infected ass foot. The big ass hole at the bottom of it. I don't want to see that. But she ended up getting your goddamn foot amputated. Like 2020, you know, aside from the people that had actually died this year, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't much I can say, wasn't much I can do. It's just, man, it's fucked up. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I had a couple other dates that was I was just trying to go on. You know, with people I know, you try to keep your little social friends, you know, try to be active with the people you know and shit like that. Where, you know, everybody you meet ain't, you know, everybody you hang out with, you ain't trying, it ain't about trying to get no pussy or trying to find your new girlfriend with everybody you fucking hang out with and all this other shit. But at a certain point, it's just like, whoo, man, you got to do something. Something got to happen. And I realized that wasn't going to happen in this current state of affairs where I'm just in the house 24 hours a goddamn day. The only time I get out the house is like this. You know, when I get out to take my little walk, or I'll walk up to the gas station and shit and back to the house, or once a month, or once or twice a month when I gotta make a grocery run and I go to the grocery store. That's when I get out the motherfucking house. You know, that's when I was like, I gotta do something. Even if it's passive, I gotta do something. I only got one person that fucking called me. You know what I'm saying? I got an ex-girlfriend from 20 years ago. She called me quite frequently. We talk on the phone and shit about what's going on in life and shit like that. But all the rest of people I got, all the rest of those numbers and shit I got in my phone, I don't hear from them people. Except for one. And, you know, they calling me just, you know, trying to see what I'm up to, but it's not somebody you know, that's a situation I took myself out of, so I'm not communicating with them right now. I'm trying to keep it that way. But yeah, I was like, you got to do something. So I'm like, I gotta pop up these dating apps, set up the profiles, and swipe through them motherfuckers. And just do the little swipe right shit where you swipe right on everybody till you reach your daily limit or whatever the fuck, and just leave it at that. You get messages, and I mean, you'll get messages in your phone. A lot of times it won't be for people you want to talk to. You just look at it, man. Okay, nope. You know, and people, because I got a lot of hang-ups when it comes to that whole little process. Because I'm like, okay, I get messages in my phone. People be talking, and folks will be saying shit, talking about, ooh, what up, sexy, or some bullshit like that, and I'm like, what's up? You? Conversation over with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even finna go through that shit. You know, I'm on these dating apps. You know, I usually get mixed up with people my age. You 40-something years old. I ask you what's up, and you talking about you. And I'm like, no. I'm gonna need you to be able to speak. Or you get in a conversation and you say something, and all they can say is okay or oh okay or some shit like that. Conversation is over with. There's no. I can screenshot that shit and show you right now. Yeah. looking through that shit, and all you see is a bunch of messages in the fucking in the inbox, and all the text say okay or oh okay or something like that, and it's always them and me not replying back because I ain't got shit else to say. Because that usually leads to one thing that always works my motherfucking nerves, which is I do all the motherfucking talking. You message me with nothing to say. I can't do that to a female. I can't message a woman and not have shit to say. It don't work like that. So I don't let people do me like that. You can't message me and not have shit to say. I don't give a damn what kind of social structure you used to. If you approach somebody, be prepared to do the whole goddamn job. And then there's some people that don't know how to be talked to at all. Which is why I don't send a whole lot of messages on those apps, because you send messages to people and they'll reply back, but won't say shit. I'm like, bitch, if you're not interested, just say you're not interested. It's a couple of people that'll say, I'm not, I either looked at your profile or I see your pictures and blah, 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 whatever. No, don't sit there and entertain the. I had quite a few of them where I've typed, where I use the audio, the mic on my phone, instead of just trying to type everything. I use the mic, so I'll say a few sentences, just a few sentences, something real short. It's short when it come out your mouth. It's different when you're looking at it on the thing. It's different when you're looking at it on the, as text in the inbox. It look like it's like a whole paragraph down there, when in actuality you only said one goddamn thing. But damn, they done fucked the street up over here. But you end up over there, you got a whole box full of letters, and on their side it's just a bunch of O's and K's. Oh, okay, all right, okay, oh, all right, okay. And you steady trying to start up a conversation where there's actual information going back and forth, and it's just not. After like 2 or 3 times, I just bail out the conversation. I just don't participate in it anymore, because I already see where it's going. So I gotta be prepared for that shit. And I get that in text messages too, which is why I don't send no more than the little Rudy Poot ass messages that I send to people. A lot of people, they get happy, like I say, happy hump day, and like to say, have a good weekend, or Merry Monday, or whatever the fuck I come out with at the time. I try to be as goofy as possible. But that's the extent of what I send folks. I don't send folks no personal, because a lot of times I'm like, they got my number too. I don't get shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I'm not, my phone not going off. My phone ring, it's either a number that I don't recognize, one of them damn spam numbers and shit, or one of them computer calls, or some shit like that, or it's my friend that I told y'all about earlier. That's it. It's as predictable as that. Now, as a text message, I get a text message, I'm like, okay, what I get? It's either the friend I told you that called me, or it's probably one of those business emails, like from Cricket or some shit like that, telling me that my bill is due. Or I get, or you get a text message from one of them companies letting them know that your payment went through or some shit like that. That's what I get. I ain't none of that, hey, what's going on? What you been up to? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't get that shit. Which is the main reason why I haven't been in a romantic zone with nobody, because like I say, the current the current roster, if you want to call it that, is not on that aspect at all. It's not on that aspect. So I'm like, nah, it's time to get some new blood in here, because the old blood ain't working. Now, out of those few people, it's some folks that, if somehow the spirit change or whatever, that I'd be down for it. But like I said, shit would just have to happen. What the hell? And I have to go think about it. As a matter of fact, let me see. One, two. I'm trying to think about out of all the people that I know currently, if somebody was to hit me up and wanted to go out on a date and do all that stuff, who would I be willing to do that shit with? And it's a short ass list. It really is. It's a short list. I got 1, 2. Right off the top is 1, 2 that I would just do it. Everybody else would be like, I would have to think about that shit for a while. I would have to think about it for a while. But I don't know. The state of affairs, the whole dating scene is jacked up right now, which is why I ain't gonna say I ain't concerned about it, because this shit actually has an effect on your mind and your well-being. Being with other people affects you mentally, it affects your hormones, it affects all that shit. Yeah, I mean, I would say TMI, but it's not TMI. Your hormones don't react when you masturbate like they do. You have a hormonal effect, a raise in your hormone levels, which affect your mood and your overall health and shit like that. There's an increase in that shit when you have sex with other people, when you have sex with somebody. There's a hormonal effect, that releases hormones and stuff like that your body is supposed to have, that your body actually needs, for your overall mental health, your physical health, and all that shit, that don't trigger when you masturbate. You know what I'm saying? It don't trigger when you masturbate. It's not. It's just that's fucking science. You think of the human beings study some weird ass shit. Human beings done studied damn near everything. They might not be able to do certain shit about certain things, but they've studied it. That raising your hormones, you do not get that when you masturbate. That's why masturbation becomes frustrating. That's why masturbation gets for you. You can sit around the house and jack off all you want. You will not get the same effect, you know what I'm saying, that you get when you have sex with somebody. I can tell you that shit from experience. Before I even knew this, and when I heard it, I was like, see, I knew it was something. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was something. It was like, when you have to masturbate, you have to masturbate. It just, if people people do it all the goddamn time, but they want to act like they don't. It's fucking, I can't even say human nature, because fucking monkeys do it. I think most animals that can actually reach their goddamn genitals do it to some degree. So it ain't nothing to be ashamed of. It's kind of probably why we have hands, to be able to do the shit to start with. Ow! Hold on for a second. So, yeah, but you don't get it. I was like, man, this is some bullshit. It got to the point that, when you go through a dry spell like I'm having right now, where you don't have no sexual resources at all, and you ain't got none popping up, Except I do kind of have one, but just because some shit is available don't mean you take it. Just put it like that. You know, it's like the more I had to do it, and it get to a point where you have to do it. I mean, you can abstain. I guess if you abstain long enough, it's kind of like not eating. It's kind of like fasting. The longer you fast, you know, the more you're accustomed to not eating. But unlike food, I mean, you have to eat something eventually. You know, if you do the same with masturbation, you know, it ain't like if you just stop masturbating, you're gonna fucking die. But unless you're trying to be a monk or some shit like that. And that's why we get these people out here with these fucked up ass attitudes. When you get these dudes or women that can usually get whatever they want from the opposite sex, there's a hormonal response to that too. You know, it's a hormonal response to setting goals and actually achieving those goals. It sets off the same hormonal response. Which is why you get those alpha type people. You know, because like I say, when you don't get it, and you frustrated and you down all the time, it has the same effect on your hormones, but in the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a trend. If you used to getting kicked down and beaten down and talked about and bullied and all this other shit, that shit affect your goddamn hormones. The same way that the person doing that shit, it affects their hormones. It affects their hormones in a positive way because they're getting some goddamn enjoyment out of the shit, and you not getting any enjoyment, or you getting put down over the shit. Now your hormones start going into the, especially if you're a guy, now, you know, it affects your testosterone production, and your goddamn estrogen levels increase, and as a man, that's not good. You literally turn into a bitch. Maybe not physically, but mentally, you become passive. You know? And the people on the aggressive side of that shit, they get that hormonal rush, that testosterone rush out of that aggressive behavior, and the body likes it. So they get that rush out of it. Boom. The hell? Fuck out of here with that. You know, their body likes it. They get that rush out of there, which means they do it more often. So they get more of that testosterone. They get more of that hormonal rush. And boom, it's off to the races. Anywho, I've been running my goddamn mouth for a long goddamn time. So that's another reason why I have to get off into the goddamn game, because like I said, when I was out in here dating and all this other stuff, even though the dates were like kind of a lot of a bunch of one date type shit, you know what I'm saying? You meet them, you might not talk to them, but you was boom, you get out, shit, I'm on this date, got a date. You know, I'm out on this date, you know what I'm saying? You done worked your way up to making a date, you go out and meet, you kind of excited. Even when you meet somebody, it's still a bit of excitement there. You get a little rush out of it, you know what I'm saying? You know, whether shit gonna turn out is kind of out of your motherfucking hands, you know, you're dealing with other people. You can't really guarantee that. But even if you get out and you manage to get you some booty, boom, that's on top of that. That's an accomplishment. You know, now you got that goddamn adrenaline rush. You met somebody you find attractive, boom, you got that adrenaline rush. Not adrenaline rush, but that hormonal rush. That motivates you to keep doing it. As long as you got that same activity going, you got that hormonal rush that keeps your mind focused on that shit. It's the same, and it's not just about that, it's with everything you fucking do. It ain't gotta just be about dating and fucking and all this other shit. That's with everything you set a goal for. When you accomplish that goal, you get that hormonal rush until you've done it so much to where you start setting goals to something else and you accomplish that. And that's why you get all these big, giant, successful ass people that don't have just one successful venture. They have a whole bunch of them, because after they've done one thing, it ain't no rush of that. They haven't done all they can do. So they start something else, and they start that whole little testosterone hormonal rush going. And that testosterone, that hormonal rush is what keeps you going. It's what keeps you focused. It's what keeps you motivated. That shit don't happen when you ain't doing shit. You've been sitting around the house like me for 7 or 8 months, or you've been be like me, 2020, since 2017, 3 years now, I've been just stuck in just a non-romantic ass rut. You know, a non-romantic rut. No dating life, no none of that shit for the last 3 goddamn years. Now, you know, I done lost that hormonal rush. You know what I'm saying? I done lost that hormonal rush. I ain't in the gym like I used to be, you know, a few years back. My body damn sure reflect that shit. And that comes from sitting around doing a whole bunch of nothing. That comes from sitting around doing a whole bunch of nothing. You're not helping your body. Actually getting out, accomplishing shit, helps your body chemistry. It's a chain reaction you gotta fucking start. This is why I'm walking now. I hadn't even eaten nothing today. I'm trying to walk while I'm fasting. I had a fucking protein bar earlier. I just lied to y'all. But anyway, I'm trying to walk while my stomach is mostly empty, because I gotta go in the house, make my protein drink, eat my little soup and shit that I made to eat, go next door, do my workout for the day, and try to get my whole body and mind back into this motivated state. And it's gonna stagger as long as I'm sitting around the house by myself having to jack off shit like that. It's just gonna fucking happen, you know, until I find a way to fix that shit. I'm gonna always be I'm gonna be frustrated, because that's just me personally. That's something that I have to really have in my life. Unlike a lot of folks, it's just like I say, it's a hormone effect. Doing it yourself don't cut it. Doing it yourself won't fix it. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody else to do it for you, to do it with you or something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else gotta fucking be there. Can't do it by yourself. You don't get that hormonal benefit from doing it your motherfucking self. You gotta have somebody else to do it with you, else you just frustrating yourself. And I know that from goddamn experience, that jacking off don't do nothing but frustrate the hell out of you, unless you just trying to hold yourself off. Like if you had a girlfriend or something, and she was gone for a couple of weeks, you know, during that couple of weeks you might have to fucking knock yourself down a couple times until she get back, and then y'all, you know, you can do the normal shit, you know. But you know, even then, you talking about somebody that's single and shit, if you got one of those casual relationships where y'all can do that shit, ideally, you know what I'm saying, even ideally, you want to be having sex a couple times a week. You know what I'm saying? You want to be having sex a couple times a week. And I'm talking about people that's in the, you know, unless you got it like that, unless you got some jump off that's real close by you, or y'all just tight like that, and y'all just ain't in a fucking relationship. But ideally, you might be able to manage once a week as a single person. Unless you just out there just banging all type of people, then I'd say you probably need to calm the fuck down, because that's how I spent my 20s and 30s. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. You're gonna end up in your 40s by your goddamn self, looking like me, trying to fuck every goddamn body. No. So, I guess that's my walk and talk for today. This has been a long ass video. I done walked all the way from my house up to fucking Quitman, and then up Jensen, all the way to fucking Collinsworth, and then back up here to my house. And that's my usual walk. So I just did that. I was only gonna talk for a couple of minutes, but then I end up doing my do where I just run my goddamn mouth. So that's my walk and talk. I will catch y'all later when I have something else to talk about. Later.